Hey, good morning. At police, they are looking through surveillance video. They're talking to witnesses, trying to get some answers and get some arrests in these multiple shootings across the city. Philly police were at 4 separate crime scenes across the city in the span of an hour. The first happened just after 3:30 at 66th and Lebanon in Overbrook, when a 40-year-old man was shot once in the foot and taken to an area hospital in stable condition. Then, just after 4, police say an argument between 2 people in the 1800 block of North Ringgold Street in North Philly ended with a 31-year-old dead from gunshots to the head. About 20 minutes later, officers on patrol in Kensington heard multiple gunshots on the 3100 block of Ellis Street. They later found the victim in critical condition in his girlfriend's car 2 blocks away. And just before 5, 4 men were shot at the corner of North 60th and Ray Streets in West Philly. Investigators say a man walked up and started firing, striking all 4 while they sat outside, fatally injuring a 55-year-old.
We think this is isolated to whatever was going on here. Usually when you have people sitting on chairs in neighborhoods, it's probably something neighborhood related.
So again, no arrests in that case or in any of the other cases that we saw yesterday. Police say that's a part of the investigation. I'm Miguel Martinez-Valle, NBC 10 News.
Look, if anybody know, I know. Growing up in the inner city, you want to prove a point. You want to make sure nobody else play with you. But check this out. You can go hit up a block in broad daylight if you want to live that life. But you got to know what come with this. Life or death. And listen, I probably didn't get this till I was older. But it's important to know that if you go with somebody to do a crime, you just as guilty. And it's not because we saying it, but because they do have a such thing as called premeditation in the court of law. And they giving out more time to the person who didn't pull the trigger. But we got to this point. And fam, don't get me wrong. At some point, we all was kids and was doing something we ain't had no business doing. But this one, a little different. We got a 16-year-old female who was alleged of spinning her opposition block in pink Crocs. And this is why it's important you don't stereotype, because these females can be just as dangerous as men. And that's on so many levels. But recently, the FBI released the most wanted list in Philly. Not uncommon, especially in Philly, but another 16-year-old female had made that list. And we have to break it down. But first, I'm gonna remind y'all, family, I won't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we're gonna jump right to it. I had to do a little more research than normal. And this because we all know as a minor, the news don't release names, as they mostly never do. And that's for legal purposes. But I found out after a recent update on Philly Most Wanted, I put 2 and 2 and found out why we have the right female. 16-year-old Zanaya Harvin. Unfortunately for her, she recently made the most wanted list on the FBI in Philly. But before we break that down, this is why I quoted in the beginning that this becoming a new norm. Just a couple weeks prior to this incident in Philly, another most wanted was a young girl on that list. She was 17 and she went by the name Jamie Barnes. 17-year-old Jamie was wanted by the FBI for robbing another teen, who was a guy by the way, but apparently she was robbing him for his gun, but then catching a body in the process. In the process, an older gentleman who wasn't even a target had ended up coming to his demise, may he rest in peace. The reason Jamie ended up getting on the FBI list because they knew who she was and who they was looking for, but she been on the run for a month and some change. 2 teens on September 2nd, 2022 was suspected and identified in the Pottstown, PA double shooting. One was at large, who we later to find out was Jamie. This was crazy because police say the suspect and the victims were driving around together in the area of Grant Street and Union Alley, leaving one of those victims found deceased inside the vehicle. At the time, nobody knew why. All was discovered was that a young man was arrested and the FBI and authorities was looking for a 16 or 17-year-old female. That following Thursday, police apprehended one of those 2 suspects, which was an 18-year-old male, Kasheen Williams. But that other suspect, 17-year-old Jamie Barnes, she couldn't be located. And Philly police got the help of the FBI.
This morning, a break in a double shooting investigation in Pottstown. U.S. Marshals arrested an 18-year-old man and are now looking for a 17-year-old girl. Kasim Williams was arrested in Philadelphia yesterday, and there's now a warrant for Jamie Barnes. She's accused of providing Williams the gun used to shoot a 17-year-old and also kill a 25-year-old man on Sunday night. The suspects and the victims were driving around together in the area of Grant Street and Union Alley. The bullet reportedly went through the teen's hand and struck the adult in the chest. Williams and Barnes both face charges including third-degree murder and attempted murder.
After a month and some change on the run, October 8, 2022, Jamie will be captured and charged.
Back in August in Norristown, a 17-year-old girl has been arrested and charged for a shooting that killed one person and injured another teen. Police say back in August in Norristown, Jamie Barnes shot a 17-year-old in the hand. The bullet went through and also hit another person in the chest, killing them. Police say the shooting is the result of a robbery. Barnes faces several charges, including murder and attempted murder.
Now fast forward, just 1 week after Jamie was charged, Philly FBI was looking for another Philly teen who was wanted. This teen was 1 year younger. She was 16 years old. Zanaya Harvin was currently on the run. Philly Most Wanted Fugitive released a disc photo of Zanaya Harvin, and also with the indication of how old she was, her height, and her possible pounds, and of course, her hair complexion and eyes. And upon research, recently, Philly police had ended up releasing a video of possible Zanaya allegedly in her pink Crocs, with another individual who was held responsible, according to Philly police, to a hit that took place in broad daylight in a neighborhood on a corner that left 2 people deceased and 5 people wounded. On September 6, 2022, police released a video of an armed and dangerous duo who was wanted in a deadly quadruple shooting. Apparently, on August 23, 2022, 7 people were shot in just an hour in Philly, and one of those shootings was, of course, this 16-year-old female was allegedly a part of it. During the day, between 3:35 p.m. and 4:50 p.m., police said 7 people were either injured or came to their demise in shooting spanning 4 different neighborhoods. But the one Zanaya allegedly helped assist in was a quadruple shooting that happened just a half a mile from Shepherd Recreation Center, where 5 people were shot just last week. As of right now, Zanaya is still on the run. Apparently, word got out that they apprehended her in her home. She barricaded herself and ended up still getting away. 2 teens living a fast life, not to mention they females, whose life probably gone before it even started.